Hi, this is Nathan Torno again on the StatCrunch development team. And today we're going to walk through the main StatCrunch website, so it's statcrunch.com. And so what we're going to do for this training session is we're going to hit everything besides open StatCrunch. So this menu right here, that's the application. It's been covered in previous KT knowledge transfer sessions. So everything that's within here is what we've already focused on. This is the majority of where we spend our development time, upgrading this application. What the website is everything around this application. So the data, the reports, surveys, groups, a bunch of different online information that goes around this application. It's kind of all the peripherals that work with this application that we've already done a knowledge transfer on. So we'll start right here at the main website. So what you'll see right here is this thing that's flashing different intro information. So you have the intro video right here. You have the StatCrunch this. This is a feature we'll probably talk about either this time or the next KT session. So what we're going to do is we're really going to run through the home page, which is what we're seeing right now, the Explore and the My StatCrunch menu. We'll talk about what the difference is between these two. And then if we have time, we'll talk about some resources also. There's a couple that in particular are important from a testing standpoint. So what you see here at the home page, we have a survey that's current. So we'll circle back to this if we have time to get to surveys today. But surveys are done in StatCrunch. They're a way of accumulating data. They work well with the application. So they're kind of a specialized feature within StatCrunch. We also have lists of the feature data sets that are currently up, feature results. Down here, of interest to you might be the most recent updates. So here we include release notes that get posted. So if we look back to March 2016, you can see what was added, what was changed for StatCrunch back in 2016. Not really much here to test, just a good to know spot if you're looking at what we've changed so that you can see what might need a little more testing on your end. So that's basically the home menu. You have some different information about awards, community, just learning about StatCrunch, but nothing crazy there from a testing standpoint, just general website management there. Explore is where it gets a little interesting. So you'll see right here, 26,000 data sets have been shared currently for StatCrunch. The way to think about this is StatCrunch is like a Google Docs or Google Spreadsheets kind of situation. It's cloud-based software. That means that if you open a data set one spot, you can open it anywhere else. So I can open it on this laptop I'm using right now, or I can open it on my phone. I can open this from any location because the data is not stored on my device. It's stored in a server. So in this case, a Pearson server. So what's neat about Explore is Explore gives you the ability to explore different results, different data sets, different reports used by other users. So let's click on data in particular. This is by far our most popular item under Explore. So again, this is Explore data. That's what we're clicking on. So right now we have 26,000 data sets shared by different users. So if I look through these, I mean, there's different tags for this. There's a searching system. So something from a testing side of things. Let's say I'm really interested in sharks. I saw a shark right here. Let's say I want to look up for a shark. I click a search right there. Again, these are all data sets not necessarily owned by me. They're ones shared by everybody. So you have some shark-based data sets. So I'm logged in under StatCrunch help, but if I were to click on this data set, again, it's not owned by me. It's owned by from Pearson textbooks or from Pearson books, this user. If I click on this right here, it's going to open up that data set into a StatCrunch application. So again, I have all this data. It's information on shark attacks worldwide. So different information about individual attacks, you know, where they happened, what's the country, what have you. So what's neat about this Explore data feature is that if I'm a user, I now have the ability to search through other people's data sets. I can then, anytime I click on this, what's happening basically is going to open a new window and it's going to send a message for what data set it's looking for. And so when you pull it down, you're actually creating a copy of it. So unless I'm the original user, if I click on one of these data sets, I do not have the ability to edit them at all. So in this case, if I went over here and changed this data set somehow, let's say if I just deleted Australia right here and click Save, it's not going to change the data set behind the scenes for everybody else. It'll just create a copy for me to then work with. So it's a key distinction. From a testing side of things, I mean, you need to be able to search this effectively. So the search algorithm needs to work. And also, if you click on any of these data sets, you should be able to download the data or pull it onto your own application. And then you should be able to manipulate it any way you see fit. And just remember, for any shared data set, what you're actually getting is just pulling down a copy of that data set. So you now have your own copy. So this is my own copy over here of the Sharks data set. I can now do whatever I want to with this data set. I can save it, I can edit it, I can export it. It's my own copy that I can now manipulate. And the original copy of the original data set is not changed by me unless I'm the original user. So also on Explorer, you have something called results, reports, surveys. And the same kind of concept goes for these. So saving results, just go and look at that. So what these are is, for a feature, you have the ability to save a result and then share it. So let me go ahead and do an example of this just to get you a feel for what this is. So you have data, and then you have results that are connected to data. And so these are basically the output that you might produce for that data set. Let's go with this shark attack data set. Let's say in particular, I want to look at, let's just create a bar plot of the months. So I basically want to look at the frequency of shark attacks by month. So in this case, certain months seem to have a little bit more than others. So it looks like June, July, and August are pretty high for shark attacks. So is January, surprisingly. There's a few that are a little bit lower. So let's say, hypothetically, this is an interesting result for me to share. So what I could do is I could go to options. So the different things here, copy, just makes a copy of it. We talked about this previously. Print, it's going to create a printable view of it. So you can just print it out. You also have download, so I can just download the PNG, sort of the image file for it. Particularly here, save. So if I save this result, by default, you'll see that it's not shared with everybody. So don't let people share the result. Let's say I go ahead and say, yes, let's let people see this result. And I'm just going to say shark attacks by month. So in this case, I want to share with everybody. I'm going to go ahead and click Save for this. So I could click View to see where it pops up, but let me actually just go back to what we saw before. So again, I saved the result and I shared it with everybody. If I reload this page, so I'm just going to go Explore Results again. You'll see the first one that pops up, because it's the most recent, was that result I just shared. So it's my account. You see that, yes, it's shared by everyone. The date is the current date for me, so it's the 23rd where I'm at. If I click on this, again, you'll see an image of the current result I just shared. So the basic distinction is you got data sets that you can share. So there's the raw data, or you can actually share results connected to those data sets. So in this case, it will actually give you the image, whatever comment you want to write. It'll give you the name I put for it. And then it tells you what data set it came from also, which is relevant. So you know where the origin is of this plot. I'm going to go ahead and save reports, surveys, and groups. So if we have time, we're going to go ahead and get to those. But if not, we'll hit those in the last KT session for StatCrunch.com. Same idea, though. So you have the ability to create a report, create a survey, or create a group, and then share it to where other people can search for it. So it's a way of having a virtual community to where you can share certain aspects. This basic idea, if you're exploring, that means you're looking through other people's information that they shared with StatCrunch users. So again, if I go explore data, let's say I click on the, let me look at, let's say GPA. We'll click on that. So we've got 69 data sets that have something to do with GPA in their data set. So I'm just looking at other people's versions of GPA data sets and seeing if anyone comes to interest. So again, explore. You get to create a copy or you get to see a copy of something that other people have done. Comparison My StatCrunch is very similar to Google Docs in that it's just a virtual location to store all your information. So I'm just going to go and click on this whole tab right here and show what pops up. By default, when you log in, you'll see this window right here. So it gives you information like the email address. In this case, it's the dummy email address since we're using a specialized help account. I actually need to make sure this gets expanded because it's an important account that we use for other things. But you have my data, my results, my reports, my surveys, so different things shared by you in this case. So what this acts as is kind of your folder to share or to store information for StatCrunch. Preference is something that's outdated. I'll go and show you this, just kind of interesting from a history standpoint. So we had a classic version of StatCrunch, and we have a new StatCrunch. Basically, back in, I think it was in 2013, we converged StatCrunch from Java to JavaScript. So again, just a little history lesson. So the new version of StatCrunch is the only thing we support now. The old version is Java-based. It doesn't really work well in most browsers nowadays. So that's preferences, really something that we're probably going to get rid of relatively soon, at least in the way we have it currently. So if we go to My StatCrunch, let's look at data. That's going to really popular thing to do. So under this case, so StatCrunch Help has 95 data sets shared right here, or saved. So what you'll notice for these is some of these are shared. So these you can find under Explore. This one also is you can find under Explore. And some of these are just saved for its own account. So 300,000 normals in this case, that's only something I can see. So it's something that's hidden behind the scenes by me only. Most of these in this file you'll see are actually shared because these are times where we decide to create a data set that might be of relevance to our users, so like university rankings or popular US baby names. So things that might be interesting to other people to look at. So again, the whole purpose of My StatCrunch is I can save all my information. So it's kind of like having your own folder in your computer, but instead of in your computer, it's just stored online, just like Google Docs or Google Spreadsheets would be stored in a cloud-based system, or Google Drive if you work with that. Also Dropbox, same idea, cloud-based storage. Definitely the wave of current wave of things technologically speaking. Likewise, if we look into results for this, we can see all shared results. So that first one that pops up is the one I just shared, the shark attacks by month. So again, I get the distribution of the different shark attacks over the course of the year. So really, you'll see these websites are very similar between Explore and My StatCrunch. The only distinction is, these will include all data sets that you have saved, whether they're shared or not. In Explore, you can only find data sets by others or yourself that are shared. It's a big distinction there. Let's go ahead and talk about reports. So we'll go ahead and just try to systematically hit through these items, and we'll see how far we get. As far as testing is concerned, by the way, so if you save something, it should pop up in these folders. If you click on something old, it should always be there, and it should always have an image of it. So in these cases, if you have a result, it should give you a little screenshot of part of that result. So it's something just to check. And also, you should be able to manipulate this folder by deleting values, or in this case, we just have the ability to delete. Reports. So I'm just going to do My StatCrunch reports for this. In this case, there's not really a good report for this, so let me go ahead and create a new one. A report's basically a way of having StatCrunch, something embedded within a file. So it's a way for you to embed a data table and also results within an online document. So let's go and click Create Report in this case. So I'm going to go and do Shark Attack demo. So by default, again, it's turned off. I'm not going to share with everybody, but I had the option to turn this on. If I did this, that means this would be searchable by anyone else. You can allow comments or not, different tags that are connected to it. So what we're going to do in this case is just give you a demo of how this works. So demo of typing, this would be like the report's body. The whole tagging system here. So let's say I want results. If you want to tag a result, I'll show you in a second what these are for. So what you're seeing me put in there in these little brackets, I can add results in line. So I can add results or data sets in line in certain spots. Let's say in this case, I want to use my target text by month. So I'm going to add this. It's going to show up in this spot within the report. And then the data sets, I don't have this data set saved, so let me go and save this real quick. Just have a copy of this. So it's just saving that data set. That way I can use it on my report. So, so that does bring up a good point about reports. Reports, you can show results and data sets that you have saved. So it has to be saved information for you to be able to access it. So in this case, I'm going to go and click save. I'll go back to that in a second, but the data one's not going to work here, but it will in a second if I do this. Use this shark right here. So you see it initially, we're missing the data one because there was no data one I attached. So this you have typing, and then you have the ability to add different things in line. So the exact result I had, I can put it in line within this. And then below you have the text. If we go back and edit it, I'm going to go and add that data set that was of interest. So it should pop up this time. So Shark Text Worldwide, it pops up at the bottom top of the list because it's the most recent saved data set. I'm going to click update again. This little thumbnail, by the way, is just a little image connected to it when you're searching for it. It just kind of gives a little visual connected to the report. So again, you have demo typing. This is my name. So above is the result one, so you can see the results of the months. And see in line, you actually have the data. So what this actually does is create an iframe, a technical thing. So it actually contains our StatCrunch application within a little frame, to where then you can actually compute results. You can do anything within here. So I could recreate the graph above if I just did bar plot with data of the month. So you get the same graph right there as you see above. The main value to these reports is, I mean, A, it's cloud-based. You can share with people. B, it's nice because you can include the data in a real form. So you can have different results connected to data set, but then you actually have the raw data right there. So it's kind of an advantage over just doing a Google Doc or a Word document for this. If I go back to my StatCrunch, if I just look at reports, you'll see that Shark Attack demo is the first one that pops up, the one we just created. As far as testing, so there's a video tutorial on reports. I've kind of glanced over this pretty quickly just because I don't want to get bogged down too much in it. But from a testing standpoint, I mean, we need to be able to create a result, report. We need to be able to do these different options for us. I need to be able to email this thing if I wanted to a certain address. I also need to be able to print it. So it should be a image. It should show the images on there. I want to print this thing, so it creates a version of it. So there's different things with that. The creation should work. If you add a data set, it should work appropriately also. So there's just different interactive things that need to be checked for this thing. If I look under Explore results, it's not going to show up mine because I didn't share it, but you can see different results that are shared by other people. let's just click on one of these, for example. Let's do a Facebook survey. This person just looks like they typed out a survey and then they included, so they gave the survey questions right there. And they included a pie chart and some summary information they got from their Facebook survey. So pretty interesting. I have to look through this more to see if what they did exactly here. And that, wrong click, and that is the reports you see. So we talked about data, results, reports. Again, the difference between Explorer and StatCrunch. StatCrunch includes everything you create that's saved on your account. Explorer would be everything that's shared by other people. So in this case, I just found someone else's report, Daniel Rudd at hotmail.com. I found his report he decided to share with everybody. Let's go and talk about surveys. And we might not get too much farther because again, I don't want to hit too much at once. But let's go ahead and talk about surveys here. So surveys, well, let's go and take one first. Okay, this is right here is an example of a survey for StatCrunch. We'll take this one and then we'll also do our own. So do you have a home phone at your current residence? I do not. I do not have satellite television. I am male and I'm 29 years old. So I'm just going to go and answer this. Actually, I've already previously answered this, but if I had not previously answered this, if I clicked submit, what would happen is it would show up as results for it. So again, this would happen after you submitted. In this case, from this account, I've already submitted a result. This is an option to turn on, which allows some results for the users. So in this case, it looks like 57%, 58% don't have a home phone that took the survey. The majority do have cable or satellites. A little more males than female, or a little more females than males, and this is the age distribution. Very right skewed in statistical terms. What's happening for each individual one of these kind of need to be checked on different browsers, on different devices. It should work on a phone just as well as a laptop or a desktop, Mac or PC. This is actually creating a little iframe behind the scenes. It's creating an actual StatCrunch window when we're just kind of creating one feature within that window. So these things look pretty simple, but they're actually using the whole application, or at least a form of the application to create these. Specialized feature I had to work on a year ago. So these things need to be confirmed for these surveys. Let's go back and I'm just going to go and create a survey. So I'm going to do my StatCrunch surveys. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a demo survey. So again, my StatCrunch surveys is what I did, and I'm just clicking create a survey. So for your sake, if you click on this, it'll actually give you an example of how to create a survey, a video. So this would be useful if you want to learn more about the surveys, how they're created. It'll be somewhat similar to what I'm talking about, but with more screenshots, of course. Okay, so let's do KT demo survey. This is going to be the name for the survey. By default, I'm going to leave it closed. Start off with. I'm going to leave this as only one submission per person. That's the default. I am going to turn this to display summary results. Again, this is kind of a key feature of surveys that needs to be confirmed that shows up well on other devices. By default, I'm not going to share with anybody. Survey. I'm just adding a quick description. So right there, I have the description that will show up at the top of the survey. It's custom thank you message. So once the survey is submitted, you'll get this custom message. There's a default message if not. Other options, let's just find some kind of image that's useful here. So we'll just find this. I'll just search, not sure why, but bats. Okay, we'll actually, bat. So we got Batman right there. Here's a bat. We'll use that as our survey picture. Any reason for that? Not really, just because. So you see that description right there, your survey title. By default, this is closed. Let me go and show you what happens if we add questions. So for this, there's 4 different question types here. As far as a QA standpoint, you need to be able to add all 4 different questions, make sure they work correctly. So that's one thing to test for these. I'll start with multiple choice. So you have question text above. What is your gender? Good question. I can say male and female. Could be the 2 options for this. This right here is how it's going to get pulled into StatCrunch. I'll show you in a second how this is done, but let's say in this case, I'm just going to say gender is the column name. So you gotta have multiple choice question. It's that easy to make. Let's do a follow-up fill in the blank question. So again, I'm going to click fill in the blank to add a question. What is your age? In this case, I only want numerics, and I'm going to assume no one is less than 0 years old and greater than 100 years old. And I think let's just say 120, because I think that's about the largest age I've ever heard of. We'll use a common label of age for this also. And submit. So the difference is this is multiple choice. You get to select one or the other. This is an age that I can enter a numeric value. For response, it's a little different. So we can ask we ask, how is this KT session going? So I could ask that question. Call this KT feedback. So that's the fill in the blank version also. So again, multiple choice. Hey, in this case, fill in the blank, and then this is the free response. Last one's multi-part. Really, multi-part is nothing special. It's just if you want 2 things under the same description. So let me go ahead and create this. Demo, problem, description. Let's go with that. So what happens is, and then you're able to add questions under that description. So say I want to ask, what is your favorite color? I'll do blue, green. You need to just have 1 per line. So basically you need to just, every time you enter a value, you click in there. Yellow, red, orange. I'll just stop there. I'll click in other category also for this. So the first question is, what's your favorite color? Let's just say second question is, what much do you sleep per night? Hours. Again, I want numeric here, and I'm assuming you're not sleeping less than 0, and you're sleeping less than 24 hours per night. Again, multiple parts, nothing special, just has multiple parts under the same header is really what's happening for these. So that quickly you're able to create a survey. So what's the value of surveys? Let me go ahead and show you some for this. I'm going to add a couple responses. I'm going to allow myself to enter multiple responses for this, just so I can create more. And we're going to go ahead and open this for responses. This needs to be turned on right here to allow other people to edit or to add responses to the survey. So what these are different ways for the survey to be found. So if I actually look at this, this just gives you the raw URL above. You can see my messages up here. So this is the raw URL that's up there. So if anywhere at this point, if they access this URL, even if they don't have a login to StatCrunch, if they just have a phone, they can actually access this URL and find this this survey. So these are just different ways for people to find the survey is the moral of the story. So we're going to actually just answer this. I'll just do a silly answers here. 27, not well. Let's just say I'm not a fan of this right now. Blue, and let's just say I sleep 7 hours per night. Go back. I'm just going to enter in a couple more responses real quick. So I'll say female, 35, very well. And let's say the female likes red and sleeps 5 hours a night. Let me just add one more, and then we'll look at the results for this. So I'll do a male, that's 65. Okay, not good, not bad. And let's say they like yellow. Actually, let's say for this person, they like cyan, say, and they sleep about 9 hours a night. So in this case, I got 3 responses. If you just submitted the survey, you see those responses summarized. So in this case, got 2 males, 1 female in hypothetical reality. We've got the ages. Again, these things kind of need to be tested in different devices. Not kind of, they do. They just need to be confirmed. We did those when we originally created them, but something that needs ongoing, make sure that they work well with multiple devices. You get a world wall of that free response right there. So got all 3 said not. Had a couple of wells, just something of interest. Gives you a summary of all those. So we have 1 other for the color. And then you see the responses for the sleep per night. Now, since I own this survey, what I can do unique is I can click this Analyze button. So I'm the only one that sees this right here. I'm the only one that has the ability to edit it also because I'm in this account. Let's say in this case I click Analyze. And so what's nice about that is it gives you the raw responses for this. So you have gender, female, and male for the genders, male, female, male. The different ages for the responses. These are made up. KT feedback. See colors, so it gives you the multiple choice value, and if there's an other value, it gives you the other value in the separate column. And the number of hours you sleep per night. So what's nice about the surveys in StatCrunch is you then have the ability to pull in that data directly into StatCrunch as the owner of the survey. So I can now save this data set. I can create, I can do summary statistics on the ages and the number of hours sleeping. So you can run results on these. Do a pie chart of the gender. So pretty boring just because it's a really small data set, but if you had more data, if you have more responses, this would be really interesting to analyze the data set or analyze the survey results. So again, I'll see these summary results even if they're turned on, if I'm just anybody taking a survey. Surveys can be accessed from anybody. If you just go to the URL, even if I don't log in, I'm able to answer a survey for StatCrunch. Things that need to be checked as far as your side of things, do these things work correctly? These are probably one of the more complicated things for the surveys. Are you able to analyze the data? Are you able to create surveys correctly? Those things kind of need to be confirmed at different devices or just periodically checked. That's basically it. So I'm going to stop there for this time. So what we were able to do is hit the home Explorer in my StatCrunch. We talked about data, results, reports, and surveys. So I'm going to save for the last KT session on the StatCrunch.com. We'll hit these groups in the future. So what is a Facebook or a StatCrunch group? And there's also a couple of resources that need to be highlighted for testing sake. Hope this was beneficial. Udara and Dalpity, if you have any questions in particular, feel free to send me a message on HipChat. We can easily do a follow-up KT session just to go over questions over what we covered. And again, we'll have one more KT session just to hit the last few remaining items on StatCrunch.com that in particular bear or need testing. They're more advanced resources. All right, appreciate your time, and I'll stop the broadcast now.